happen that way.
One last question. What would you want us to know about that time? So, I heard that you came for 5 years, and obviously you stayed a little bit longer than that. Obviously, you came and you said your parents, you had to do what your parents wanted you to do. But things are very different now. So if you were going to send a message to everyone here about that lived experience, I know you can't wait to say how much you wanted to stay, how warm the people were, how much you didn't miss home. You want to tell us that, or you want to tell us the truth?
I go home from time to time, every 2 years, hoping that one day I will win the pool and I will go home for good. But it never happened. So here I am, but not go any further, so I have to stick it out.
So the main reason you are here is because you had one child and then another child?
Oh yes, we couldn't go back, we were going to.
Okay, so if you didn't have one child and another child, what would you have done?
Oh, back home.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Same question.
I'm not sure that I would have gone back home at the same time, because as I said, I came here as a child. I think one of the things that England gave me, which I'm very, very proud and happy about, I have got to know a lot of people from different islands, different countries. I've got friends from Africa, different parts of the Caribbean. I would not have had those opportunities if I'd stayed in Jamaica. I wouldn't know all these people. So there has been good and there has been bad. And I try to be as positive as I can be. I tend not to dwell on too much negatives. I've been able to, I in fact came to this very university where I did my social work degree, and I also did a counseling course here. So I mean, England gave me a lot. I actually write. I've got a couple of poetry books published, and you know, I'm socially, I think it's very good, because I tell you, when I go to Jamaica, I go to in Jamaica, they've got a returning residents association in every parish. And I tend to join those associations because I want to know what goes on in the country. And a lot of people have said to me, and I said, oh, I went to the theatre, and they said, wait, you went to the theatre? I said, yeah, I love the theatre in Jamaica. They said, oh, but I've never been to the theatre. I love Jamaica to my heart. I am a very, very proud and passionate Jamaican. I love my Jamaican roots, and I also am aware of my African roots. My cousin in America has been doing our family tree, and she says we are so many percentage Nigerian. So she said we've got maybe the Nigerian roots in us, so yes. And I've got quite a few Nigerian friends. I've got a young man that I cared for many years, and I call him my Nigerian son, and he calls me his Jamaican mom. So,
So I want to give the last word to our Queen Mother, but I do want to ask the same question of you both, so I'm going to ask you to answer first, and then I'm going to give the last word to you, Queen Mother, okay? So, many of us are not that familiar with our African roots. I mean, I heard you say you're very proud Jamaican, but you're aware of your African roots. Many of us in the diaspora have an African root. Muta Baruka says, if a cat is put into an oven, it doesn't become a cake. It's very important that we know what our root is. If you plant the seed of a fruit, the fruit will come forth, no matter where you plant the seed. So for those of us who we are still here. What would be your message of hope and inspiration? We are the diasporas. That is what we are. We are the 6th region of Africa. What would be your message to those of us here and for those who will hear your voice even after today? So I'm going to ask you to speak first, and then I'll come to you, Mother. I know that was long, right? That was long. That was a long. I can be very long, you know. Okay.
My message to people here today. I think what I would say is that all of us need to be mother, father, grandmother, grandfather to the younger generation, because I think many of them have lost their way. I really think that we need to intervene. I know when I do it, my daughter says to me, Mom, don't do it, they're going to hurt you, they're going to do this. But I think if we're polite to a lot of young people, because I've intervened many, many times, and I've said, pull your trousers up. I've said, quite a few things to them, and it has happened. And it isn't, I get on the bus, and I say, sweetheart, you're much younger than me. You can stand up. Would you mind giving me a seat, please? And they always get a seat. And then I get a seat for every old person on the bus. Because I think it is important, and I think we need to treat young people with respect. And they will. And I think we will get the respect back, because I've never spoken to a young person they've ever been rude to me. I've heard young people swearing in the park, and I've gone up to them and I said, do you realize I'm old enough to be your grandmother? I've never heard my child or my grandchild swear. I said, there are other words that you can use. Do you think, oh, sorry, miss, sorry, miss? So I've never had the rudeness, and I think sometimes it's how we approach people. And, that's how they're going to respond to us. So I would say, be every black child's keeper.
If I want to encourage anyone to come here, I will say yes. Not now, in this time, but when I came here first, it was hard and rough. But I tell you the truth, I was very looked after. Never really had much problem. A lot of jobs I changed from one to the other, but always looked after. Very rare have any complaint. Don't like it, I move on and get another. But now I will say to my relatives who would like to come here, no. It's too hard finding a place. It's worse now. Look at what they're doing to us now. So at the end of the day, we encourage and say, no, don't come. Stay where you are. As long as you can get to work and have a roof over your head, and you can manage, stay put.
We are privileged to hear from our Queen Mothers. They are the standard bearers. They hold the standard that has served us well. And so I invite whoever to help our Queen Mothers get back to their seats and thank them very much. And as they go back, please make them hear your appreciation for them.
So, one more message to start. So,
Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
It's been brought to my attention that we have generations of your family here. Would you like to share the generations that we have here of your family?
My daughter and my granddaughter.
And
great child.
So we have a daughter,
Child is
we
here.
have a granddaughter,
Yeah.
and we have a great granddaughter.
Here, yes.
right here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.